All right, yesterday I walked you through the first 10 days, okay, it was only 9 days, of Startup Company. This is how I usually start these games, totally vanilla setup. But I talked about how to make your first hires, how to get started with the game, how to set a solid foundation for profitability. And in this video, I'm going to start taking some liberties with the spirit of the game towards my goals because what I'm trying to accomplish are a couple things. This is what I kind of to myself call a speed run. I want to get 100% of the accomplishments. And I wanted to do it in 1,000 days of gameplay because the last accomplishment is to play the game for 1,000 days. So that's the fastest I could possibly get 100% accomplishment. And then to make it a little bit harder, I don't know if this is possible, but my goal is to get to $1 trillion in cash on hand. And I think technically it's actually not $1 trillion, it's 999 billion, no, 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 whatever. But that's the goal here is to get to the maximum cash on hand, 100% accomplishments in 1,000 days. So to do that, I'm going to take some liberties with, I, I'm not going to cheat. I've got some rules for the game. I'm playing in career mode. I've got no mods and no rescue saves. So by rescue saves, I mean I will not try to undo an accomplishment with a save. So bankruptcy is probably the best example that I have. If I go bankrupt, the game is over. If I have to revert to a save point, then I failed the mission. I can't. I can't. I can't put myself in a position where I have to restore a save point in order to get one of the achievements. So that's a commitment to my integrity. That's what I'm going to do here for the game. That said, I'm going to do a bunch of things that are as I said, outside the spirit of the game. So it's a very cool game. Startup Company. You can find it on Steam. I think it's like $13 or $14 on Steam. I definitely recommend you go check it out. If not, I would venture to say I am one of the top players in the world at this game. So, I'm just saying. I've spent far too much time playing this game. I don't know everything about it, but I love playing it. I've got spreadsheets for production plans, all of which I'm going to show you in later videos because I'm going to do an entire walkthrough for this speed run, which is where I'm going to get 100% accomplishment, 100% achievements in 1,000 days of gameplay. Okay. So just for reference, I'll also share that so a lot of these achievements are pretty easy to get just by the nature of playing the game, but then we get down towards the hardest one is fast support, and right now 0.6% of players get that achievement. I think there was actually an update to the game a little bit more recently that made that a little bit easier to get just by managing resources. But I'm going to show you my tip that let me get that pretty reliably and quickly in every game, as well as the rest of these achievements. We're just gonna burn through these. So let's take a look at how we play the game. So where we left off yesterday, on day 9, I had kind of set up my hiring. I hired a developer, I hired a designer, I hired a senior developer, got my first researcher, and myself as the owner. So this is me, Mike. And this is where we're going to pick up. Again, this is a totally solid foundation. This is how I start all my games. I've probably, like, if I had this game as my full-time job for like almost 3 months, then that's about how many hours I put into this. It's kind of crazy. Um, but today we're going to pick up from here. And so I'm going to start looking at um, some of what I have to do to achieve this. And let me just take a quick look here at the achievements that I've got. I've got 3 of 29 achievements. You can see across the top of the screen. I keep track of what I've hit. So I've already marked these. And so what I talked about yesterday is what I need to watch out for in this early part of the game. So before I move out of my first office, the things that I really need to pay attention to are overclocker, produce a million CUs with all servers at 200% overclocking. And then the other one is to reach a million users. A million users while in the smallest office. This one I have to do while I'm in the smallest office. The overclocker is easier for me in the smaller office because I don't want to have to undo a bunch of work when I start building out my server farm. I want this to be the way I approach it in the first place because I'm not going to keep these servers this way throughout the rest of the game. Okay, so how far did I get yesterday? I made my initial hires. I started setting up the features on my game. I installed the landing page. I only upgraded it to level 1. I did that for a reason. I'm going to come back to why that is. We maxed out our registered users compared to our potential users. And this is something you always want to keep an eye on. If you have potential users higher than registered users, your goal should be to get people onto your system. This is the objective, is to build users, sell ad revenue, make money. And all that's going to set up everything else we're going to do in this game. Hosting I haven't had to worry about yet because I'm still just kind of on my basic 500 CU plan, server stable with the 2,000 users that I have. That's going to hold me over for a while. Don't have to worry about support. Don't have to worry about venture capital. And I did start running a marketing campaign to bring those 2,000 users in. Once I got those 2,000 users, I paused this campaign, so I have no marketing running at this time. This is Pam here in the corner. I always forget her name. I want to call her Amy. But take Pam's advice. She'll step you through the first several stages of the game to success. And basically where the state that I'm at now is I need to add a total of 2 features to the site. I've got my researcher here researching, and if I check on the features of the site, I do not yet have enough research points to unlock the comment functionality, so I'm going to let that researcher keep doing their job. In the meantime, I've got a senior developer who's developing what I need for that first feature when I get it installed. This blocked component is something is something the developer is going to be manufacturing, so that'll catch up by the time I need it. And then, so I'm kind of on hold until I get some research points, can unlock that feature, can get this installed. So what I'm actually going to do is I have a couple paths that I could go right now. I could either train up myself so that I can recruit faster, and also research value. Sorry, what am I trying to say? Research the salary requirements and demands before I hire somebody. Then it makes hiring a lot faster. Or I could continue with my headhunting. In this case, I'm actually going to continue with my headhunting because I want to get another researcher generating research points as quickly as possible. So we're going to go ahead and start the game. And as I mentioned in the previous session, at this point, I'm not super concerned about maximizing productivity. This number in parentheses is the maximum productivity the employee could reach. The first number is their current speed. So if I train this person up, they could get up to 192% productivity. Which is pretty good. Maximum is 200. Later in the game, I'm really going to focus on looking for like 198s, 199s, 200s, because that's the best way to get these fast producing, highly trained employees. But for now, this is going to be good enough. I'm going to try and pick this person up. How cheap can I get them? As I said, I usually don't worry too much about trying to go super cheap, but this is kind of the pattern I follow. Ultimately, I don't really care if I end up paying this person. But this is just kind of fun. So let's see what we can I just bring them down a little bit? Boom, there we go. Okay, I will now cancel headhunting and I'm going to start training. As you can see right now, I'm an intermediate. I want to get up to expert, then I'll up level myself so that I can do that additional research. We're going to go ahead and seat Mr. Scott Silva right here. And I could set him to training also, but I'm just going to let those research points go. In fact, let's check and see where I am on research now for this feature. So I've got 26 research points. I need 30 research points. Between the two of them, they're going to get there pretty quickly. So that's the next thing I'm going to need to do here is to upgrade this feature. And there it is, unlocked. Okay, so pausing the game is totally allowed. Playing at 3 times speed is totally allowed, well within the rules that I've established for the game. I'm in career mode. I'm not using mods. I'm not going to do rescue saves. Beyond that, I think everything else is on the table. If I come up with anything else that's a rule violation, I will definitely let you know. So what is this guy waiting on? He needs a backend component. My developer is developing a backend component, so I think I just have to wait for that to happen. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and install this feature. So I hit the milestone because I installed the second feature. What we'll see right now, though, is that because this is a level 1 feature and this is a level 0 feature, that mismatch is affecting the satisfaction of users on my site. I have 100% satisfaction for the landing page, 0% satisfaction for comment functionality. Nothing else is taking away from my satisfaction. So the solution to this for now is to just turn off that feature that's making people unhappy. It's got no user base. It's got no levels. It's got nothing. So I just turn that off, and I'm going to let that sit there for now until the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to wait for the components to be developed by this lead developer. So I will just go ahead and keep an eye over here. Ooh, he's got to develop. See, so this is going to be a problem because I didn't develop enough network components. So what this is telling me is I need 3 backend modules. Each backend module needs 1 backend component and 1 network component. It also needs 3 input modules, which each require 1 UI component and 1 backend component. So the thing that's going to be the problem here is this network component. And what I have to do is come and tell my developer to create network components. I'm going to need at least 3 of those because I need 3 units that depends on. So that's just going to take me a little bit of time to create there. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is actually come have both of my researchers start training, because it's going to be valuable for me in the long run to have these guys researching faster. I'm also individually training because that's going to help me do my recruitment faster. And I'm letting these guys produce. So we're probably just going to go ahead and let them produce for a little while. I think the next action that I'm going to need to take is actually to upgrade the level on this feature. I don't know if I have a whole lot to do in the meantime. And it's like, time I've spent on this game is ridiculous. But I love it. It's so much fun. And I always joke because this is essentially what I do at my job all day. It's changed a little bit now, but when I started doing it, I was in operations and I would manage production levels and all these things. So my wife would always joke with me that, like, why do you do this all day and then come home and play this game? You're doing the exact same thing. But, the heart wants what the heart wants. That's how it goes. All right, let me just check on, why do I need backend modules? I'll stop the clock here. I'm waiting for this guy. Oh, what happened? Somehow I didn't have him producing backend modules. So let's actually step this up. I don't need any more front-end modules, and I do need back-end components. So we'll come in. See, I'm getting a little confused here. So I need to produce these back-end modules. I need network components, which I have 3 of, and I need 3 back-end components to catch up. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. We're going to turn this off. And we're going to let them produce until this guy develops 3 back-end components. And what you'll see is back-end modules, is you'll see the back-end components become available. One just did, generated by my developer. The senior developer, lead developer will start generating that component. And now we're back on track. All right. Got to upgrade the features of this website. 1, 2, oh, nope, that was still the first one. Now I'm blocked again. Let these guys work. Let these guys work. This game gets so exciting for me. Later in the game, we'll talk about the spreadsheets that I've put together. We'll talk about the macro automations that I use, all within the rules of the challenge here. But again, this is something that I've wanted to do for so long, is just to put together this video where I do my speed run and get, again, 100% goal accomplishment in 1,000 days. That's the fastest you can possibly do it. Right now, I just developed 3 backend modules and I have 4 input modules, so that is enough to upgrade the feature. So I'm going to stop this guy from producing. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to upgrade this feature to level 1. And if I turn this on, it's going to hit the milestone for me. At this point is my first kind of hack for the game, because I am actually going to delete this feature. I don't think I can fire this guy. I've got to have him for 30 days. Oh, no, I could fire him. Okay, so I don't have the. I thought I had to have somebody hired for 30 days before I could fire him. I fired this guy. And does that make any sense? Yeah, it makes sense because what I'm trying to do is grow as fast as possible. And that feature takes longer development time than the feature that I have. If I'm working on just boosting up this one landing page feature, all I need is a developer and a designer, and I can develop everything I need. If I'm using the additional feature of the, what was it even that I was working with? Comment functionality. I'm now competing for resources because I have to have the developer creating resources that feed the senior developer instead of just creating resources that build this landing page. So pumping up the landing page is the fastest way for me to grow my user base right now. And that's the only thing that I care about at this early stage of the game. This is what's going to set the stage for me to hit these accomplishments. I also notice right now that my owner is idling because I have finished my training and I don't have any other tasks assigned. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that person. I'm going to come back over here to recruitment. And so here is another decision point. I have a couple things that are going to happen in the next few minutes here. I'm going to have to hire a network admin to start generating server components. And I'm also going to have to hire a salesperson to start adding, to start being able to sell ads on the site. So I'm actually going to focus first on the network admin. So what do I have to do to hire a sysadmin? I can actually unlock a sysadmin right now. I'm going to come back in here and tell me, and this is the benefit of getting myself up to this expert level. I can still do a little bit more training to get myself faster, but as an expert, when I'm doing my recruiting, I can research salary expectations and research demands. I'm going to be looking for a sysadmin, and I'm looking for a beginner sysadmin. So again, I'm going to be looking for somebody ideally in that 189 to 200 range as a beginner. But if I have to find somebody who is a little bit slower, I can probably live with it this early in the game. I'm going to check in on my researchers. So I have the option now. If I upgrade them, I have to give them a salary raise. I also then will want to keep training them so they can get faster and get to the next level. My researchers are really going to pay off in the long term. So I think it benefits me to get them trained up as quickly as possible in the game. This guy's a 191, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade him. I'm going to start training him for the next level. This guy's a 192. I'll go ahead and upgrade him, start training for the next level. Again, ideally, those would be in 198s, 199s, 200s. No big deal. I can live with that for now. My developer and my graphics guy are running, so that's cool. I'm at 100% usage, so this alert from Pam doesn't really apply. My next goal is to get to 20,000 registered users, and I can now use my resources just for pumping this up so that I can add one more level. And what that does for me is increase my potential users from 2,500 to 6,800. Now, if I turn my marketing back on, this is going to grow. So as you can see, very cost effective for me to scale functionality on this particular feature. For the time being, I'm just going to let that ride for a minute here. And we're going to let this, oh, there we go. Right off the bat, 195. That's great for this point in the game. Because of the research that I did, I know what the salary requirements are. I know what the demands are. I can just make an offer and hire this guy at that salary level. No problem. And I'm going to actually then set myself back to training so I can max out that productivity. We'll get this guy seated and start producing the equipment that I will need to set up my server environment. Check on how my researchers are doing with their training. Everybody's good. Am I going to do anything else at this point? I'm interested in starting to develop the speed of my designer and my developer. They are still producing for me, so let me just check in. My designer's ahead because I had to have my developer doing some of the work on the other features. So I think what I'm going to do is actually take this opportunity to start training my designer, give my developer a chance to catch up a little bit. Obviously, this is kind of now a chicken and the egg situation because the designer is going to get faster by the time the developer catches up, then the designer is going to pull ahead again. But, you know, it is what it is. We do the best we can. and we'll start developing where we're at. I can see that my training is at 81%. Both my researchers are in the 70s, and we're going to keep growing from there. Um, I haven't gotten any. Let me just check in on my achievements. I don't think I've gotten anything else while I was. Oh, I did. I picked something. Oh, because I hired my fifth employee, I get interviewer. So let me just jump over here and update my interviewer. Cool. Oh, is that the one I got? Maybe I already had interview. Hold on a second. I'm out of sync here a little bit. Okay, so I've got interviewer. Oh, you're out. I had to fire. Oh, I did fire an employee. All right, here we go. So I need to figure out, what do I need to do here? Let's so there again, you just saw me accept a salary demand. I'm at 3 times speed, so this happens pretty quickly. Um, you got to sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to turn off my that I fired somebody. I need a better system for keeping track of this. I don't remember this being so difficult yesterday. Oh, there we go. All right. Boom. Fired somebody. I've updated my achievements. We'll just check to make sure that's in sync. Achievements. You're out. Fire one employee. I have it updated here in the corner. There we go. All right. Sorry. So as I was saying, you just saw me accept a salary demand. So what that means is somebody was unhappy or searching for another job. They had another offer. I have to meet that salary demand. I will always do that. It's easier for me to pay somebody's salary than to go headhunt a new employee. I have probably said a couple times I don't care about expenses to a certain degree. I don't want to go bankrupt, so I have to pay attention to that. But my goal is to out earn any of those losses. So I'm not going to stress out about getting people at the lowest salary point. I'm not going to stress out about keeping my costs as low as possible because my goal is to out earn any of those kinds of losses at this point. In other styles of play, maybe I want to build maximum features for a certain website and just max everything out. In those cases, I'd play a little bit differently. I'd make different decisions. I might focus a little bit more early on in employee happiness and being a little bit more balanced. Right now, my position is I don't care about employee happiness. I'm trying to grow as fast as possible. That's the only thing I care about. Let them work as many hours as a week as possible. Doesn't bother me at all. And if somebody asks for more money, I'm just going to pay it to them to shut them up. It's not very liberal of me. I'm a very progressive person. But in this case, don't mess with my 1,000 days. We're trying to get something done here. All right, let's check in on my production. And what I want to do is upgrade some of these features. All right, I'm missing UI components. So I feel like I probably did. Yep, there we go. I did something wrong with my UI components. So I'm actually going to double up so that I can do a little bit of catch up. Basically, the way this works is so what I've told them now is to produce one backend component and then 2 UI components at a time. So every cycle, they'll do one backend, 2 UI components. That'll hopefully bring it back into balance a little bit. I can keep an eye on my features, and as they do their production, I'll be able to upgrade those features. And this is a lot of this game is checking in on these little things, making sure that everything is set the way that you think it is and doing what you want it to do so that you can, I'm just going to rearrange my windows here a little bit. Keep track of make sure that everybody's doing what you want to do and focused on the right things and you don't lose sight of something. Service is a big one. I always lose sight of support. At some point in the game, you'll recognize that you've been losing tons of users and you don't know why, and you realize it's because support dropped because you didn't have enough supporters and you weren't responding fast enough, and maybe you forgot to assign people to a support team, whatever it is. Like, we'll talk about all that stuff, but it's all stuff that you just have to pay attention to on an ongoing basis. So here we go. I've upgraded my features a little bit. I can add now another 1,600 users, 16,000 users to my site, but I need to run some marketing. So I'm going to turn these email campaigns back on. I have very high satisfaction. So it's going to make it easy for me to add users to the site. I don't have anything taking away from that like ads, which I'm probably going to start looking at some point here, but I'll get this up to probably level 10 before I start worrying about that too much. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep upgrading these employees, keep the training going. That's going to keep my research high. I'm actually not trying to. All right, well, so let's take a look here. Oh, there's a 200. I might grab that guy up just because I know I'm going to need him down the road. And I've already, you know what? All right, I'm going to do it. Let's hire this guy. 200, boom, done. Otherwise, oh, I'm fully maxed out on training. Okay, so here we do. We'll set this guy, start producing units. I just like to keep them grouped. So I'm going to have to hire 2 salespeople, and I'm going to have to hire a supporter at some point before this site gets too huge. So let's look at what I have to unlock in terms of human resources. Sales executive and supporter. I'm going to need a sales executive before I need a supporter, so I'm going to focus on that. So let's go do some headhunting. Find me a sales executive. I'm going to clear out all these that I'm not going to hire. Still doing training here. I'm doing my headhunting, doing my training. And once I get this site up to 10 maxed out level at this point in the game, then we'll look at getting some ads running. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I think I'm on track for what I want to accomplish here. Yeah, I think that looks good. So let's check in my achievements. Let's go ahead and just save the game here quick. Now, if you missed the first video, you should go check it out. Just talked about the first 9 days. I talked about this name, Time Attack, and how that was actually the name of my first company that I started when I was doing software development, and it was kind of a mix of Tyler and Michael. I'm Michael. My son was Tyler. His name is Tyler Michael. Time Attack. I thought it was very clever. I was super proud of myself, and nobody got it. People couldn't pronounce it. People couldn't spell it. It was a mess. I was super disappointed, and I made the exact same mistake naming my second company, Mobilitex, which I thought was super clever because it was mobile IT support, mobile technology, Mobilitex, and nobody got it. So whatever. I try not to be too clever now, but it happens every once in a while. Because what are you gonna do? All right, so I don't want to waste a ton of time. I'm at day 50 on a 1,000-day challenge, so that's what, 5% of the way through the game. I'm obviously nowhere close to where I ultimately need to be. I'm producing some of the units. I'm setting the groundwork. Let's see what I can do here to up-level myself. All right, on this framework, I can get to level 10. I'm currently at level 8. I can add 2 more levels on this framework, and then I'll have to upgrade. I want to max out my user count. With the changes I just made, I'm at 20%. I've got 100 grand in the bank. Let's take a look at my finance. So I'm burning 2,700 a day, and I've got 100 grand in the bank. I'm hiring sales reps. When I start running my ads is something I need to look at. Okay, so here's the thought process, is that I need to develop revenue features. If I have to, I can pretty easily unlock text ads, and I might do that just to start generating some revenue on the site. But ideally, what I want to get to is video ads, but that's 2,000 research points. I'm not sure I can hold out until I can develop 2,000 research points. If I can get to that point, that'll be what I want to do. But if I have to unlock the text ads in the meantime, then I'll go ahead and do that, just so that I can start generating some revenue. In fact, that's what it's looking like I'm going to have to do, but I'll wait until I hire my reps here. So sales reps are interesting. I actually don't have a lot of concern for speed in sales reps. I want them to be at the expert level because it affects the number of contracts that they can research. but I don't need them to be super fast because once I have a contract set, I don't need to worry about how long it takes to um, fill those contracts because the way I run the contracts is going to be a minimum of 10 days, usually longer. So at this point, I just kind of can take whatever. So I'm going to scan this list. Like, so here's a 192 for 4,300. Looks good. Grab it up. Here's a 48, 29. So let's just go ahead and snap up this person too. We'll start headhunting. Clear out that list. I don't think I have supporters. Let's see what I need to hire a supporter. That's going to be my next hire. I'll go back to headhunting. Start looking for a supporter. And you saw me just turn on research salary expectation and research demands. That makes hiring faster. It slows down recruitment a little bit, but I always do it just because I like the convenience of being able to see how much they want, click the button, hire them, not have to go through the negotiation. Start headhunting. All right, let's get these salespeople seated. And at this point, so I want to do a couple things. I want to max out my registered users. And then I want to negotiate sales contracts. So my first priority is kind of getting this built up. So for now, I'm actually just going to start training these salespeople. These guys are still training. So here's this comes in super handy down the road because it gives you an easy way to see kind of where everybody is. So me and the design, or me and this researcher are maxed out. This research maxed out. We're all experts. I think I've got the researchers still training so they can get their maximum productivity as researchers. And I'm not sure what to do with these. All right, let's ban this guy. All right. If somebody's ready to be upgraded, this is an easy place to see it. If somebody needs to do research, this is an easy place to see it. I'm gonna actually set these guys to do some training too while we're here. And as soon as I can get these last two features, I need this designer to kind of catch up. So I've got enough backend components. I need some UI components. I'll do a little micromanagement here and keep this guy producing. So let's get to the point that I can max this out here. This is the thing that I want to accomplish right now. Level 9. He's going to produce the next UI component. We'll get him to level 10. And oh, he got so close. All right, here we go. Level 10 and boom. Okay, so now I'm at the point where I have the maximum feature level accomplished for this landing page. I already showed you that I'm not going to add any other user features because what I want to focus on is ads. I added a feature that I needed to add to get the accomplishment, but at this point, I don't need any more accomplishment, so I dropped that feature. I hired my lead developer, fired my lead developer, and I'm going to focus on revenue and user count at this point. So I'm still running my ads. I'm still burning through about $3,000 a day. But I want to get this up. Oh, my ad ran out. Good. See, this is the kind of stuff I was talking about. You just got to pay attention to these little things going on. So I need to make sure that I'm running ads for sure. And I'm actually going to run 2,500 a day. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this because I don't want to burn through all my cash. But I think this is going to get me to the point where I can run some ads and make some money. And at this point in the game, my number one goal is to get to $1 in profitability. The thing that's going to get in the way of that is if I overhire, if I bring in too many people, if I upgrade to another office space too fast, that's going to really hurt me. But right now I just got to 2,000 registered users. I could start thinking about adding some ads right now, but I'm just going to let my user base grow a little bit more. As you can see, because I hit that milestone, I got another, $30,000 in cash, $35,000 in cash. So that's going to keep me going a little bit longer. As long as I keep reinvesting in this growth, then the business is going to do okay. And I noticed that I forgot to start some background music here, so let's just see what we can do. Get something started. Nice. Okay. So I'm running my marketing. I'm doing some training. I've got some sysadmins running here. I think I'm pretty well on track. I reached this milestone, so I'm gonna rebalance my product, my manufacturing, and I'm gonna set my developer to training. See if I can catch up to where this designer is. We'll keep training that person up. These guys are both doing their training. We'll let them keep going. Got my researchers fully maxed out on training. I've got myself fully maxed out on training and doing some recruiting for supporters. Supporters is an area where I don't want to compromise on performance because this is somebody I'm probably going to be stuck with for a little while. So I am going to hire this supporter. And I'm not going to be doing any additional hiring at this point. So what I'm going to do with myself, my CEO, who I think of as me, is put them into developer mode and just set to the task of developing the components I need for these front-end features. And I'll help contribute and fill in some of that gap while I'm training up my other developer. I will seat this supporter. They are on the Facebook team, Facebook being my social media site that I started with. So I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to start training because I'm probably not yet at the point based on my user count where I'm generating any support incidents. It's probably going to be several more days into the game before I start to see my first support tickets. And so I am not going to worry about that for now. I do still have my marketing running. I've not received any additional investment offers. My hosting is holding up and things are looking good. All right, we'll keep that running. The next things that I'm going to have to look at are getting started with some hosting at some point. Pam, so Pam is already telling me my next milestone is to produce a total of 1,000 computing units of server performance. I start the game with one of these FastCloud mini servers. I'm producing 500 CU right now as I add users. So right now I'm at 50% of my potential user base, which is 35,000 users out of 70,000. At that level, I'm using 40% of my available server capacity. So if I max out my user base, I'm nearly maxing out my server capacity. At that point, if I come under a DOS attack, DDoS attack, or if the site goes viral, my servers are going to become overloaded. The performance is going to drop. My users are going to become unhappy. There's a couple things that contribute to server performance. One is the optimization of the features. As you can see here, my features are running at very low efficiency, but because it's a small site, it's not currently having much impact. Upgrading the efficiency is going to be something that you'll see I focus a lot on as I go through this game, so that I can maximize the users with a minimum amount of hosting overhead. Late in the game, I will totally overcompensate with user overhead because I'll have plenty of cash on hand. So I'll dump money into servers and absorb any DDoS attacks or anything in that, but just by over focusing on building out my server performance. So in the meantime, I'll just come in and do this every once in a while as much as I can, max out my server performance. I've still got my ads running. I'm still increasing users. I'm still going to be able to get by here. So I reduced my server load from 40% to 30%. That's cool, but I'm still going to really have to seriously look at setting up some hosting here in the short term. And the easiest way to do that is to, if I'm not mistaken, just add an instance of the mini cloud server. So there we go. We've got now 1,000 CU of computing power. And I think my next move is going to be to set up my own hosting farm in a building. But we'll see what she says about that. Start to lead users. And so my advisor Pam is telling me to hire a sales executive and negotiate my first contract for a text ad which is what I'm pretty well on pace to do. So I'll go ahead and research that feature. We'll unlock some text ads here. We'll install those. So I'm going to stop the clock. If I install a feature while the clock's not running, it doesn't go against my satisfaction. So what you'll see is if I add a revenue feature for text ads, I'm actually going to fill both these spots. And what'll happen is I have 100% satisfaction for my landing page, -8 for text ads, -8 for the second text ads. If I had any support hit, if I had unhappy support people, that would come out of this total. I still have 84% satisfaction with the site, so I'm okay. What installing these lets me then do is see that right now at 67% utilization, I could support 180,000. I could sell a contract for 180,000 views per day, or ppm, CPM. I don't know what the units are. We'll see that when we go back over to the sales execs at 67%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start researching sales contracts at 200,000 units, whatever they are, views, and get ready to sell those, even though I'm not quite at that level yet. So I will... I'm actually just going to delete these for now. I'm going to come over here to my sales execs and tell them to start researching 200,000 deals. Same for this one. 200,000. Stop training. Did I tell this one to stop training? Stop training. Okay, so what I did here is I expect that I'm very soon going to be at 200,000 views per day. So I told both my sales execs to start researching ads for that amount. By the time I'm ready to, by the time I have sales contracts to sell, I think I'm going to be in that range. So we'll just go ahead and let the clock run and see what happens as these people do research. You'll see that my potential users will continue to increase because I'm running that advertising. I'm starting to see some ads come in, and what I'm looking for is some higher dollar ads. So 4 or 5. What I should see on the video side is it's going to start getting up to like $7 or $8 per thousand views, per thousand impressions, and there's a pretty close correlation between this side and here. So I'm going to cancel the ones that are low and keep the ones that are high, because they can only research so many at a time. So here's a 5, here's a 7. I'll let this one keep researching if I had to today. Okay, so here again, I'm just gonna accept this. Basically what it's saying is that the researcher I have is positively unhappy, but at the very least has been offered a better salary someplace else. So I have to pay them $2,300 increased salary, $12,000 bonus. I will almost always do that. Very seldom does that bother me. If I'm ever in a situation where that cash is a problem, I'm pretty much sunk anyway, so I don't even worry about it. All right, so I'm gonna fill in some. If I get this for $7, that's great. I think I could get a little bit better, but I'll just let those populate do some research. So I might try and find one a little bit stronger there, but I'm at 100% now. So I'm gonna turn on my marketing. And I know I'm starting to go through this pretty fast. Like a lot of this stuff starts to happen at once, especially later in the game. Many things are happening to keep an eye on all at once. That's kind of the challenge. We're going to come back to the features and reinstall these text ads. So I've now installed 2 text ad slots. And if I look at the slot, it'll tell me I can support 283. So I'm going to accept the contracts, and I'm actually going to then start researching higher contracts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to negotiate this one. I'm going to max out the contract length because that's when I get the bonus on my CPM, but I also have an increased penalty fee if I don't hit that over the course of the 20 days. I'm going to sell the full 2,000 impressions, and I'm going to always negotiate the contract. I kind of just pick some, like if it's a video contract, I'll go all the way to the top. If it's a text contract, I'll just kind of go to here and see what happens. And then I start coming down about this much at a time until we start to get close. Oh, they left the negotiation. That's disappointing. That doesn't usually happen to me. That's maybe the first time I've seen that. I guess I got cocky. Maybe I should be a little bit more careful. All right. Send an offer. Do our little negotiation here. Oh, 2 in a row. Man. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do then. Since we have to go through this again anyway, let's just bump them up to 250. And we'll do a research from there. Maybe I won't be quite so aggressive next time. I don't know. I mean, maybe I will. It's hard to say. All right, this is a decent deal. Let's go ahead and negotiate this deal. 10 days. We'll negotiate it. Let's not be quite so aggressive, I guess. I kind of pissed him off last time. So he came up 80 cents. I'll come down 80 cents. He came up 40 cents. I'll come down 40 cents. And I think he'll go for 530. All right, I'll just accept his offer. Boom, sold ad space. Now, here's where I have the choice to either auto renew or renegotiate after 10 days. I sold this as a 10-day contract. If I don't set it to auto renew, then 10 days from now, they're going to come back to me and this contract will be lost. I'll have to take a new contract, renegotiate. At this point in the game, I'm going to look at expanding soon, but for right now, I'm actually just going to leave this on auto renew. And this contract I don't love, but I'll take it. We'll try and get a little bit more for it. This is not where I want to start from, but it'll get me some money. Again, I'm not super worried about the details. 40, whatever. Okay, so we'll take that. For now, I'm going to mark that as auto renew, but let's see what that does to my cash flow. Okay, so I am very close to break even with those ads. If I don't change anything right now, I can coast for quite some time. It's not exactly where I want to be in the long term, but I've got some flexibility here. I also have to start paying attention to my goals, because what you'll notice here is that Pam, my trusted advisor, is telling me that I need to rent a bigger office. And my next milestone is to increase maximum workstations to 20. So that means the next milestone I can hit requires me to move to another office. But if we refer back to my goals here, I want 100% accomplishment in 1,000 days, which means before I leave this office, I have to hit 1 million users. The other goal that I expect to hit in this office, but it doesn't have to be in this office, is to generate 1 million CU computing units at 200% overclocking. So at this point, I need to start being really careful about how I manage my cash, because I'm not going to get another bonus from Pam until I move to a bigger office, but I can't move to a bigger office until I get 1 million users so that I can get that accomplishment. Kind of a catch-22. I've got a couple options. I don't think I'm going to get any outside investment offers through my venture capital money until it's possible when I hit $1 in additional revenue, I start to see some of those offers, but I'm not certain about that. The other option that I have is to take out bank loans. So as of right now, I could take $100,000 or $250,000 bank loan. As my revenue grows, as my size grows, I can take out bigger and bigger bank loans. And bank loans, I think, are one of the accomplishments. I think the achievement is actually to pay back a bank loan. Take out a bank loan. So do I have to take $1 million? Maybe I have to take $1 million, but that's something, again, I'm not afraid at this point to borrow money. I'm not afraid to sell off parts of the site. I'm not afraid to overpay employees. I just don't want to go bankrupt, and I want to get to profitability as quickly as possible. While I'm here, take the opportunity to save the game again. And let's keep going. All right, I don't know what's going on with this chat thing. How do I make this go away? Can't see it. All right, well, let's just assume that that's doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to disregard this from now. When I restart the game next time, she's going to tell me the same thing, but I'm not moving out of this office until I hit 1 million users. That is going to require upgrading the frameworks. So here's where I'm at right now. I need to keep trying to make more money. I need to keep trying to increase my user base. The more users I have, the more I'm going to need support. The more I want to upgrade my site, the more money I'm going to need, and I'm not going to get a bonus until I upgrade offices. So these are my forces that I'm balancing here. Let's take a look at my frameworks. I can jump frameworks if I want. My main consideration here is going to be the cost of upgrading the framework. I will, I'm not afraid to spend the money, but it's going to be really tough for me to spend $300,000 or $500,000 upgrading a framework if I don't have that revenue or bonus money to come in. If I took a loan, could I do it? I mean, I can get 250,000. No, I couldn't really do it. So not an option. The other thing is, I guess I don't really have a reason for this, but I always stick with the Qt framework instead of the Nitrosoft platform. And honestly, it's because I'm a web developer and I like open source. Right? So when I was doing web development, I started learning PHP, and it's open source. The tools are freely available. There's lots of documentation and support for it. At the I mean, this is a while ago. This is like PHP 4 probably when I started, and now they're on what 7.2, something like that. But the alternative was .NET, ASP.NET, I think it was at the time, which was Microsoft, and you had to buy a IDE to develop with. And so I, at that point, made the decision that I was going to stick with PHP and not do .NET programming because PHP was open source and .NET was Microsoft, and I didn't want to have to pay for the tools and pay for the licensing and be hooked into their platform, and hosting had to be done on IIS instead of Apache, and all these things. So when it comes to this game, my loyalty is to open source, and I, for whatever reason, associate Qt framework with PHP and Nitrosoft platform with Microsoft and .NET. So I will always go for the Qt platform, the Qt framework. And in this case, I would love to just, there's nothing wrong with skipping. I would love to just go to the biggest framework. There's lots of benefits, but I just don't have the $3,000. So I'm going to unlock the Qt framework. Qt FTP, where's that come from? I don't even know. Is Qt FTP a tool? Maybe it is. Looks like I'm having some network problems. Well, we're gonna just forge ahead for now. I think they upgraded my bitrate level, so maybe we'll deal with that for the next game. I'll just bump that down a little bit. I'm trying to keep an eye on lots of things. Streaming is kind of, I'm gonna say hard, but also awesome. I love it. So anyway, I'll come back to that in a second. Upgraded the Qt framework. I'm gonna come over here. Because I have my feature at the maximum feature level, I can upgrade the framework. I'm going to install Qt Framework 1, which is going to cost me 60 grand. I'm now at 95 in cash. And that's going to have to hold me for a little while because, as we said, I'm not getting any bonuses. My best opportunity is to increase my user base and thereby my ad revenue. So on this framework, I have a maximum feature level of 40. I'm going to start trying to max this out. How far can I get? All right, I got to 25. I can get a maximum potential users of 266,000. So I'm going to try and get to 200,000 impression level as quickly as possible. So impressions and users aren't totally correlated. What you can see is right now I could support 270,000 impressions at 70,000 users. So basically what I'm saying is I want to a little bit more than double that. So 270 at 70,000. I basically want a 3x that. So let's just say let's say 750,000 is my next goal. Oh. All right, well, that's as good as it's gonna get right now, I guess. So we'll just go ahead and max these out. I'm gonna come back and revisit this in a minute. We'll just go ahead and start some training here so we can develop some more. See, that's one of the things I should have been paying attention to before. Start the training right away when I knew I wasn't gonna have to have additional deals backed up. I've got a little bit of time, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I want to also increase my maximum potential number of views. So we're just gonna let that ride. I'll come back over here to my marketing. My marketing is running. And we'll let the user count grow here for a minute. The next thing I'm going to have to address is my server space. And where are we on time right now? So I'm close to an hour in. And I'm thinking maybe this is where I wrap it up for the night. So I upgraded my framework. We talked about the sales process. I've got my employees. Let me just check on where everybody is. We'll just do a little kind of cleanup here at the end. So first of all, let me check on my achievements. 5 of 29. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I got one that I missed. Employment machine. I didn't give myself credit for employment machine. So let's go ahead and jump over here and snap up this employment machine. Boom. Done. Employment machine accomplished. So I've got 5 of my 29 accomplishments. I'm going to save the game. And we'll just do a quick little audit here. So on these sales reps, oh, see, boom. Confirm, train. Boom. Upgrade, train. On my manager, I'm here producing units. Keep doing it. You do you. I'm going to upgrade my sales rep, start training, or sorry, my supporter. My supporter, I want to be maxed out. Supporter, especially later in the game, ends up being a super important role because failing to provide support is the fastest way to lose users and is the fastest way to lose users kind of surprisingly. Where, I mean, so you're playing, all of a sudden you realize that your site is completely tanked and it's because you weren't paying attention to support and users got pissed off and left. That is between that and like a surprise bankruptcy, those are the two areas where I always go wrong. And when I say surprise bankruptcy, it's because you'll see later in the game that I use outsourcing reps pretty extensively, and I'm buying inventory instead of hiring people to produce inventory. So either over buying with my outsourcing executives or not paying enough attention to support are the two areas where I always mess things up. So that's my biggest threat of them going through these. My researchers are totally maxed out. No training going there. They're just going to be producing. I need that research later in the game also. So we're going to keep that running. Let me just check in on my developers. All right, fully maxed out. Producing. Oh, let's get this guy trained up, especially while I, in my, what did they call it? History role, a background role? I don't remember what they called it. At any rate, my background is as a developer, so I'm developing. That's what I want to be doing. Here again, let's bump these guys up and start some training. There we go. All right, so we're going to wrap up this game right here. That's about an hour in. First game, I got you through the first 9 days, setting the foundation. In this game, we started to take some step towards getting these accomplishments that we're trying to do. The first big one that I have to get in this building is 1 million users on this site. And what we can see is already I can support right now a maximum of 266,000 users on this framework. So I'm going to have to upgrade my framework once more. I'm going to have to get profitable and sell some ad space, and I'm going to have to get my server hosting up to speed so that I can support these number of users. So in the next video, those are the things we're going to be focused on, and we'll see how far we can get with that. In the meantime, this has been a ton of fun. I love doing this. If you're following these, if you're watching the recordings on YouTube, please subscribe, like the video, comment. Let me know what trouble you run into with these comments. I'm doing these. I'm not on a strict schedule with Twitch. I know it would be easier for y'all if I was, but I don't have a lot of followers right now. I don't have a lot of viewers, so I'm just gonna kind of keep it casual right now. Check out the recordings on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch and YouTube if you're interested in this content. Let me know if you play the game, if you're into the game, if you enjoy the game, and we're gonna keep doing this. So I will check in again tomorrow and see what we can keep doing. See you soon.